At the Dongwook building, scientist Young Chul calls the police to warn them that he's planning a terrorist attack. He grabs a needle and injects a viral strain into his own body while explaining that he's the only vaccine. In the same building, Chain's Bio is holding a conference. Biotechnologist Sejong has been invited by her ex-husband, Gyu-sung, to get her a job in the company. Sejong mocks Gyu-sung for caring about his ex when he has a new wife and admits he came because she received a personalized invitation with a mysterious poetic message. On the stage, CEO Woo Chul talks about a slime mold with cell regeneration capabilities, which has cured a rat from its paralysis. When he sees Young Chul at the back, he freezes for a second, before jokingly concluding that science may soon create a society where people can't have bad thoughts about others. Meanwhile, Yoon Suk is having lunch with his wheelchair-bound sister Yoon Hee. Sadly, Yoon Suk's shift starts soon, so Yoon Hee decides to explore them all alone. After the conference, Gyu Seong introduces Sejong to Woo Chul. However, their meeting is interrupted when Woo Chul gets a call from Bong Suk, a member of the counter-terrorism squad. When Bong Suk mentions Young Chul, Woo Chul immediately postpones the meeting and leaves the room. Sejong is annoyed, so Gyu Seong tells her to follow him to give him her business card. In the hallway, Woo Chul learns about Young Chul's threat and that the counter-terrorism squad will be arriving soon. He makes his way into the VIP room and is followed by Young Chul, which is seen by Sejong. Young Chul accuses Woo Chul of hiring him only to steal his research and fire him. However, Woo Chul points out that Young Chul's research can't be used anywhere. When Young Chul says he's taking humanity to the next level, Woo Chul calls him a psycho and pushes him against the door, telling him to leave. In the hallway, Sejong sees this tension and decides to leave. Then Woo Chul accuses Young Chul of seeking human extinction, but Young Chul clarifies that it's actually the birth of a new humanity with perfect communication and no jealousy or suspicion. Woo Chul laughs at the idea and gives him a sarcastic double thumbs up while calling him crazy. When Woo Chul is about to leave, Young Chul injects him with pathogens in the neck. A furious Woo Chul throws Young Chul around a few times before pushing him into the bathroom. Then he blocks the door with a chair. On his way out, he accidentally steps on the needle. In the hallway, he's about to call the police when suddenly he starts vomiting a massive amount of white mucus that spreads strands on the carpet. Soon he collapses and his body begins to twist in grotesque ways as he transforms into a zombie. At that moment, 3 men notice him and try to call the emergency service. But Woo Chul jumps on them and bites them in the lobby. Bong Suk arrives with his team as a group of people start screaming. A zombie appears nearby and the team tries to check on him, but the hallway suddenly gets flooded with new zombies who keep vomiting the white liquid. Bong Suk immediately orders a complete lockdown. In the restaurant, Sejong and Gyu-sung are having lunch. She wonders why he married her, so he admits that he liked her headstrong nature even if he often scolded her for not compromising. However, he couldn't keep up with her and felt like a coward, which is why he broke up with her. Feeling uncomfortable with this confession, Sejong decides lunch is over and they leave. Then 2 mean students drag So-yeon into the restaurant and force her to pay for their expensive sushi order. On the stairs, Yoon Suk is on his way to his post when he receives orders on his radio. However, the heavy static prevents him from understanding the message. At that moment, he hears lots of screaming. Outside, buses full of police officers arrive and block the building, asking any passersby to take another road. In the mall area, horrified, men run around telling the crowd to run. Soon, the zombies arrive and start attacking people, so the crowd runs away in panic. 2 men crash into Yoon Hee and throw her off her chair, but nobody stops to help her. Sejong hears her cry out, so she goes back to help with Gyu-sung together. They put Yoon Hee back on her chair and run away from the incoming horde. Unfortunately, the zombies are fast, and one of them manages to knock down Sejong. Yoon Suk arrives just in time to grab this zombie and throw him away from the group. The creature gets distracted by the people on a glowing sign and keeps pounding on it, giving the group the chance to run away. No matter where they look, zombies are blocking the corridors and biting people. The group ends up hiding inside the camping gear shop with other survivors. Sejong sees that Bong Suk is being overpowered by a zombie and goes out again to help him. Then they rush together into the store to finally lock the door. The zombies immediately pile up against the glass walls and Bong Suk steps away in fear, accidentally turning off the lights in the process. The zombies instantly calm down because they can't see them anymore. Bong Suk tells the group about the call from a terrorist and Yunai tries his radio, but it won't work. Suddenly, the zombies at the store notice that there are people trapped in the restaurant, so they rush to that door instead. Since they can't break in, a zombie throws her head and groans, causing all the other zombies to do the same. Now they're coordinated and step back to attack the door at the same time. As the glass begins to crack, Sejong writes turn off the light on her phone and is seen by So-yeon, who quickly presses all the switches. The restaurant goes dark, so the zombies start crawling away. At that moment, an advertising screen on the restaurant begins playing a video. Since the zombies can't tell the difference, they immediately come back and push each other to try to reach the screen. As the glass cracks, the group in the store wants to do something, but Bong Suk says they can only wait. Sejong then notices the cardboard standees and thinks they could be bait, so Yoon Hee offers her electric wheelchair to move them. They tie the standees around the chair and keep the gear shift pressed with a hair tie. So the chair moves through the corridor on its own. As soon as they see it, the zombies run after it. Then Sejong opens the door and calls the people in the restaurant. At first, only So-yeon is brave enough to cross, but this inspires the others to follow her. However, the mean girl is too scared to continue and decides to go back to the restaurant, so Gyu-sung volunteers to get her. At the same time, the zombies catch up to the chair and destroy all the standees. One of them goes back and attacks the duo as they cross. Gyu-sung pushes the girl off and throws things at the zombie to make it chase after him. Sejong takes the chance to bring the girl into the store. In a sports shop, Gyu-sung moves some standees before hiding behind the clothes. The zombie comes inside and goes from standee to standee looking for flesh to feed. Meanwhile, the zombies around the chair keep trying to bite the cardboard. One of them finally realizes that these aren't real people, so he starts groaning, and the others do the same. As the one in the sports shop also copies them, Sejong realizes this is the zombie's way to share information, slowly evolving. The zombie in the shop goes from crawling to actually standing on her legs. Now she knows how to actually search for something, and quickly finds Gaisong, who tries to run away. The zombie tackles him, but she also falls in the process, so Gaisong keeps running. When he's about to reach Sejong, another zombie jumps on him and bites him. Sejong wants to help him, but Bong-soo pulls her back and locks the door. The rest of the horde returns and surrounds Gaisong to feed on him. When night falls, the survivors are still stuck inside the building, which is now under quarantine. News broadcasts talk about an active bioterrorism and an extremely contagious virus, which has caused the locals to gather around the building to protest. Dozens of zombies keep pounding on the front doors, desperately growling at the cops. In the shop, the survivors are calling their families. Gaisong's phone receives a call from his wife, Sol-hee, so Sejong gives her the bad news, and a devastated Sol-hee hangs up to comfort her daughter. Yeon-suk finds some equipment that he can wear on his back to carry his sister. The group wonders when they'll be rescued, so Bong-soo has to inform them that nobody is coming because of the quarantine. He also tells them that Young-chol has the vaccine in his own body, so if they capture him, they can all be rescued. Sejong shares what she saw in the VIP room, which is up on the 3rd floor. She also explains that the zombies are evolving very quickly and that they've created a communication network of mucus. It should be possible to give them fake information and mentions the ant mill phenomenon. Do-suk looks for it online and stares in shock at a video of ants running in a circle until they die. Sejong thinks they should have one person give off a special odor and everyone else have a different one, so the zombies won't recognize them as humans. The group uses the shop's gear to protect their bodies, and a former track athlete volunteers to be the bait, so he covers himself in perfume. As soon as he comes out, the zombies begin chasing him, and the man runs fast enough to hide in a beauty shop. The zombies growl to share how humans smell like before they chase after the man again, so he starts breaking perfume bottles all over the place. The creatures go after the smells instead of him, and he returns to the camping gear store with lots of perfume bottles. The group proceeds to create a trail of perfume on the floor and throw the rest on some mannequins. Then they cover themselves in antifreeze and leave the door open. The zombies come in and search the shop using their noses, so none of the survivors are discovered. When the zombies follow the perfume trail into the other room, they finally leave the store. In the quarters, the group sneaks around as carefully as possible, but the teenage girl accidentally bumps into a zombie and falls, ending up trapped under him, while Yoon-suk goes back to help her. Seong-ho uses a lighter to activate the emergency sprinklers. The water mixes with the white mucus and leaves the zombies paralyzed for a few seconds. Yoon-suk sends the girl back to the group before the zombies in the store come out to fight him. He defends himself the best he can while carrying his sister on his back. A zombie manages to reach the girl, but So-young uses a shirt to pull it back. Seong-ho hits it with a fire extinguisher and drags both girls to the elevator with the other survivors. A desperate Yoon-suk keeps on fighting, making good use of his training to get the zombies out of the way and run 2 zombies. Throw a third one, and Yoon-hee warns her brother just in time to dodge it. The creature ends up entering the elevator and attacking Bong-soo, but the siblings soon catch up and throw the zombie out before finally closing the doors. Meanwhile, news broadcasts are discussing Young-chol. His father worked for an important university, but he was caught misusing funds for his research lab and exploiting student researchers. 4 weeks later, he self-deleted. The reporters wonder if Young-chol's terrorist attack has to do with revenge. When the survivors make it to the 3rd floor, Bong-soo opens the bathroom and finds Young-chol calmly standing there, so he arrests him. Young-chol tells the group that using water was a mistake because when it evaporates, it'll help the network move faster through the air. Then Bong-soo announces they must go to the roof to be rescued since the cops refuse to enter the building because the zombies are considered infected patients and mustn't be killed. Thankfully, Yoon-suk can guide them to the cargo elevator that only employees know. While the elevator slowly goes up, Bong-soo texts his team to ask them to meet them on the roof. Young-chol compliments the athlete's skills, but it's only a distraction to stop the elevator on the 9th floor. Zombies burst in and chaos takes over as the mean boy. The athlete and the restaurant staff get killed. The rest of the group fight hard to push the creatures out, and Young-chol calmly walks out. The survivors watch in shock how nobody attacks him before the doors close, while the group argues over what to do. The elevator reaches the 30th floor where a zombie is carrying another one to mock the siblings. Not wanting to fight another horde, the survivors choose to go to the second basement where the security cameras are. In the meantime, Sol-hee joins a special team to search Young Chul's secret laboratory. There are lots of documents and boxes filled with frozen monkeys. When an officer notices that a box is broken and empty, a monkey jumps on him and fights him for the gun, only to then run away. Sol-hee steps back in fear and accidentally bumps a box, causing the monkeys inside to go crazy. Soon all the monkeys in the room are freaking out and hitting the boxes to break the glass. They manage to escape and run around the room to find a hiding spot. An agent finds them on the ceiling and opens fire, but the monkeys jump off and drag his body on the floor. Then they wrap the strap of his gun around his neck and start choking him. So Sol-hee unhooks the strap to free him. As the agents get killed one by one, Sol-hee tries to run away, but a monkey jumps on her and starts cracking her helmet. She manages to push it off, but has to hit it again to keep it away. When the monkey is about to attack once more, a soldier shoots it down. This causes all the monkeys to instantly free. Sol-hee then looks at a board and discovers that all the monkeys were connected to the one they just killed, who happens to have the number 1. At the Dongwon building, the survivors reach the parking lot. They notice 3 zombies stuck to each other in a weird shape and wonder if they're evolving again. The group carefully sneaks around until the mean girl steps on a can. Thankfully, the others lift her just in time so the zombies don't see her. Once they reach the control room, they close all the windows before checking the security cameras. Sejong remembers that Young Chul knew about the athlete's skills, but since he was in the bathroom, it means he can see anything the zombies see. The cameras find him on the 3rd floor, where he looks for something and only stops to synchronize his vision with the zombies. Eventually, he finds Woo Chul, who Sejong realizes must have been the first infected. Young Chul offers his hand and Woo Chul bites it, causing him to collapse. While Young Chul squirms and mutates, the zombies freeze and growl as they receive new information. Bong Seok says this is their chance to go to the 3rd floor, so Yoon-hee decides to stay with the cameras to send them directions on the phone. The group takes the stairs to the 3rd floor, without getting attacked since the zombies are still frozen. They easily find Young Cheol and pick him up, causing him to cry out in protest. The zombies immediately wake up and start chasing them, so the group runs to hide in the nearest office. When the zombies stop at these doors, Sejong watches Young Cheol's moving eyes and realizes he's communicating with them, so she blindfolds him and announces they're leaving. Young Cheol falls for it and sends the zombies toward the exit, so now the corridors are clear. Sejong tells the others about Young Cheol's power, so from now on, they must only talk on the group chat. As the group moves through the corridors, Yoon-hee keeps sending them texts indicating where to go next. When they make it to the 4th floor, Bong Seok realizes they're going back to the control room and complains aloud, saying they should abandon Yoon-hee and go to the roof instead. Yoon Seok hears this and sends the message to the zombies, who have evolved enough to use the map on the computer. A furious Yoon Seok shakes Young Cheol to make him stop, but it's too late. When he tries to take him away, Bong Seok points a gun at him and reminds him they must protect the vaccine, so he must abandon his sister. Yoon Seok lets go of Young Cheol but runs anyway. While the control room gets surrounded by zombies, Sejong takes the gun from Bong Seok and says they'll wait for the siblings to come back. A survivor grabs her from behind and makes her drop the gun, so Bong Seok picks it up and hits her with it. Then he forces everyone to start making their way to the roof. Yoon Seok calls Yoon-hee for directions to save her. However, Yoon-hee tricks him into getting in an elevator without access to the basements. She says a final goodbye before the zombies break in and kill her, while Yoon Seok has a breakdown. Minutes later, Young Cheol falls on his knees and starts crying too. The group gets a message from Yoon Seok promising to kill Young Cheol for revenge and saying that the survivors won't get out alive. Then Young Cheol starts laughing. After protecting his arms with tape and getting a knife, Yoon Seok goes to the hallway and begins killing zombies without mercy. He makes it to an office and checks the cameras to find the location of the survivors, which he broadcasts on the PA system. Soon a zombie finds them and tackles Bong Seok, who responds by shooting it. A man calls out his hypocrisy since earlier Bong Seok said these were patients, so Bong Seok shoots him in the leg. Hearing the horde coming, Bong Seok hides with Young Chul in a store, leaving Sejong and the 2 teenage girls to run away alone. Bong Seok listens to the horde growling as they cross the corridor and waits until they're gone to come out. With Young Chul, however, the zombies are still there and have learned to be silent as a trap. They attack Bong Seok and a fight ensues, as he uses his police training to fight all his enemies at the same time. The women take this opening to recapture Young Chul and drag him away. Then Bong Seok retrieves his gun to shoot down the zombies, but the noise attracts even more creatures. When he tries to run away, the wounded man grabs his ankle to make him fall and Bong Seok can't shoot him because he's out of ammo. The zombies quickly surround them to kill them both. In a storage room, Sejong ties Young Chul to a shelf with tape. Then she texts the girls explaining she'll retrieve Bong Seok's phone to call the rescue team. Since other survivors who were in the group chat have become zombies, Young Chul looks at the text through their eyes and learns the plan. The mean girl has a breakdown and apologizes to So-yoon, who asks her to do it after they escape. Meanwhile, Sol-hee explains to the special forces that the infected can't be cured because nerve cells never recover. She also tells them that killing the first zombie stops all the others. The officers decide to call the building security company to gain access to the cameras to look for the first infected. After a long search, they learn that Woo Chul was the first zombie. Carefully sneaking around, Sejong manages to find the phone and calls the special forces to explain what happened. The agents decide to split the rescue team, so half of them can secure the vaccine and the other half can go after Woo-chul after Sejong walks away. It's revealed that a zombie on the opposite floor is alive and heard everything, so Young-chul also knows it. The rescue team lands on the roof and makes their way downstairs, killing a few zombies that get in the way. However, Young-chul has sent a whole horde to block a corridor, and one of the rescue halves immediately gets overpowered by sheer numbers. In the storage room, the teenage girls get excited because they hear a knock and a voice saying it's the rescue team. However, when they open the door, they discover that the zombies can no talk. The creatures easily push them to burst in and free Young-chul. The mean girl throws So-yeon to a zombie as a distraction and tries to escape, but she bumps into another creature and collapses. So-yeon quickly transforms and Young-chul makes her kill the mean girl. The other half of the rescue team makes it to a corridor full of zombies, and after lots of struggle, they manage to kill them all, including Woo-chul. They think it's now over, but their zombified teammates show up with a horde for another battle. Unfortunately, these soldiers are quickly brought down too. In the laundry room, Sejong hides as she watches Young-chul walk with his zombie army. Suddenly, Yoon-suk appears and starts killing the creatures, who for some reason won't fight back. Young-chul realizes that Yoon-suk is covered in so much zombie blood and mucus that they don't detect him as human anymore, so he gives them the order directly. While Yoon-suk tries his best to defend himself against such a horde, Sejong brings Young-chul down with some boxes and wraps a cable around his neck, which she then ties to a shelf. Young-chul calls his army for help, so the zombies release Yoon-suk to rescue their leader. Now, Yoon-suk has an opening to kill the last few zombies in the room and gets ready to kill Young-chul too, but Sejong stops him and reminds him of the vaccine. A furious Yoon-suk starts choking her, but lets go to chase after Young-chul. Suddenly, something moves behind Yoon-suk, and he's shocked to find his sister, who can walk now because she's a zombie. Yoon-suk runs to reunite with her, but Yooni takes his knife and stabs him to death. Young-chul finds Sejong, who throws the invitation at him because she's realized he sent it. It was Sejong who reported his father's dirty business, and Young-chul overheard him say her name on the phone. However, Young-chul thinks that incident was caused by miscommunication, which is why he wants to connect all of humanity's minds as one. Sejong is shocked to see Young-chul cry, but before she can react, new agents burst in and she rushes to hide. The men capture Young-chul and see Sejong, but leave without her. When she has an opening, she runs to hide in the storage room, and the zombies won't move away from her door. Afterwards, Sol-hai calls Sejong and tells her about the monkeys. Sejong realizes that the main monkey wasn't the first infected. It was the one controlling all the others. So he runs to tell her bosses that they must kill Young-chul, but they refuse to murder the vaccine. When the escort team is about to reach the roof, more zombified soldiers appear and quickly kill all the agents. Then Young-chul takes his horde to the roof to kill all the agents there, too. Now they can leave the roof by sliding down a cable and land directly in the parking lot, where Young-chul uses a soldier's phone to call the leader and pretend the arrest was successful. They get in a van and finally leave the building. On the street, Young-chul releases his zombie army on the protesters and cops around the building. He even moves one of the buses to open the barrier and spread the chaos. In the storage room, Sejong sets up a mannequin with her jacket as bait. While the zombies follow that smell, she runs out and hides in the laundry room again. Remembering that Yoon-suk wasn't attacked, Sejong steals a jacket from a dead creature and puts it on. When a zombie comes looking for her, it detects her as another zombie and leaves. While So-hee evacuates with her bosses, she receives a call from Sejong, who has made it out and wants to know the enemy's location. So-hee rushes back to the tent and becomes the only person searching the footage. Sejong steals a car and follows So-hee's directions to find Young-chul, who dodges the vehicle just in time. Young-chul sends the zombies to surround the car, so Sejong drives at great speed to shake them off. She crashes into another vehicle and has to jump out before the zombies jump on the hood. When Young-chul notices her disguise, he sends the zombies after it. Sejong immediately takes off her jacket and is shocked to watch the zombies form the ant mill phenomenon around it. A confused Young-chul tries to regain control of the horde to no avail. He pushes his way through them and reaches the center to pull out the jacket, causing the entire horde to collapse. When they wake up, they're moving on all fours again, which means their evolution has been reset. Noticing this, Sejong throws herself at Young-chul, who easily brings her down. However, this is her plan, and quickly rolls under a bus with a sign with big faces. The zombies think the signs are real people again, so they run toward the bus and push Young-chul against a fire in the process. As he desperately tries to shake the flames off, the zombies copy his movements. Suddenly, they all freeze, meaning Young-chul is finally dead. While staring at the creepy statues, Sejong calls Sol-hee, who confirms that zombies in every location are frozen. 2. After Sejong leaves, one of the zombies moves. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.